on the radar from the crib. Yo, I got my guy from Philly here with me, Armani White. What's up?
What's up with you, bro? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm living, staying corona free, just trying to live my best life from home.
Heard that. I definitely heard
How
that.
you been, bro? How's everything? How you been lately? I know you've had a hell of a 2020. Want to make sure that you're good. Want to make sure that you're doing well. How's everything right now?
Absolutely, bro. I mean, it's a lot better now. It's a lot better. I can
Good.
say like it was a really, I guess like it started off on this like it had the trajectory, the idea that it could be really good, and then by the middle of it, it just shot. Like at the beginning of it, we had I can't even say that because it didn't really pan out. But we had a plan to our booking agent put us on tour with really big artists on the height of like one of his biggest singles. So we was like, damn, this is gonna be a good year. And then Corona.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
their corona comes and
Yeah.
just it's like a truck.
Right, exactly. So then, from there, like a lot of other things just kind of
Mhm.
compounded on that kind of brought it down. But doing a lot better now. I can say that, doing a lot better now for sure.
Nah, man, and we'll get into that stuff because a lot of the stuff that that I know has happened to you kind of
Mhm.
correlates with the music situation that we've been going with. And
Absolutely.
and I know, so like primarily I know what you're really working on right now is this yellow tape campaign, which is like comprised of like these singles, and it's all kind of like this one unison campaign that you're working on. So tell me a little bit about it. Like, what are you doing with it? Because I think it's really cool, like the different things you got going on right now.
For sure. I mean, starting off on it, it was just the idea that we was going through something legal, and I was
Mhm.
like, man, I don't know if I like a lot of things. I think, before this, prior to this, my father passed, and we made a
Mhm.
project based around it. But the project came out years later, and the time span that it actually happened, I just didn't say anything. I went completely dark off of social
Mhm.
media, like just kind of in my own world, trying to recoup, trying to gather myself. So this time it was like I had I just kind of was like going through it and going through everything that it was coming with. And I was like, I really just don't want to go through this alone. Like it was
Mhm.
a lot built onto it. And I was like, I really just kind of, this is one of those moments where I have to make the decision on whether or not I want to go out and say this, like, hey guys, like I'm going through something crazy, or just be like, all right, I'm gonna go dark. And I just, it was already like Corona. I feel like I'm going dark every day. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
so yeah, like with that, we rolled out some music, kind of announced everything that was going on behind the scenes, and just just to give just to give everybody kind of like a peek into what is actually taking place. So not to try and pull on the heartstrings is too much, or not to try and like get everybody really emotional, but just to let
Mhm.
people know that like, yo, there's some serious stuff going on back here. And like
Mhm.
and I'm trying to trying to keep a level head about it. But fresh off of it, we got to roll some other music out. The Danny Mac record just dropped. That's doing real well on the internet. So yeah, and then now we gearing up for more music at top of the year, and hopefully putting this all together into one little package. Put a bow on the top, something like that.
Yo, I love that. And let's talk about some of these records. So the first one of the records, obviously the first one you dropped was a letter from jail. And I know, I saw on your IG you said this isn't really a song; it's more of a message. And I know that it
Mhm,
has to do a lot with your personal experience with dealing with the legal system in this country.
mhm.
So talk to me, obviously about the record itself, and I guess some of the situation, what you can talk about, that kind of led to you wanting to do this.
We had a house fire, and
Mm.
that was kind of like the start of summertime. I think it was like somewhere midsummer we had a house
Right.
fire, and that just kind of was like the start of the downhill roller coaster I was telling you about. And for a while it was just me, just kind of for me, I'm like the big brother of the friend group. I'm like the one that kind of got everything together. In real life I don't, but everyone else looks at me like that.
Yeah.
Kind of grasp the concept of like, yo, you just messed up really big. Like, what I'm saying? It was just real hard for me. And I battled with that all throughout the summer into the fall. And then I just got a phone call from my brother's girlfriend. She was like, hey, your brother just went to jail.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, your brother just got arrested. They just took him. They said he had a warrant out. And I'm like, a warrant for what? Like, I'm with my brother all the time. He ain't doing anything. And then she was like, they said arson.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, they said all of y'all got warrants out.
Wow.
And so my heart dropped, because I'm like, yo, like what? Like, what I'm saying? I'm not, it's not even computing in my head. I'm like, man, everything, like, it had to be for the house fire that happened. And then even with the house fire, I'm like, we did everything in our, like, there was nothing that really constituted arson from that situation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it was really just like, And you know, when I got my lawyer heard it, and he was like, wow, this is ridiculous. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is, I think the only reason that they might still even be going through with this is because courts didn't get a chance to see it and actually just like be like, oh, read this. Is like, yo, like, what is this? You know, so so in the process, like, I guess how we, you know, what I found out, I never really went through the court system at all, but what I found out was once it gets to the point of a warrant, you got to turn yourself in. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really like, I thought I could just call somebody, they call somebody and they be like, yo, he good. Like, or it was none of that. You got to turn yourself in. And so, yeah, I turned myself in. It was me and my DJ. And luckily it was me and my DJ because, you know, I feel like if I went in there by myself, I'd have been, you know, going through all these different things in my head. But it was me and him. So we was just in there making quarters fight each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Playing rock, paper, scissors all night. Like, it was just, we were just trying to do whatever.
Did you get like booked on a Friday? Like, did you get booked on the weekend? You know, like when.
Oh.
Okay, good. Okay. Because
Yeah,
you know,
what?
like, the getting booked on the Friday is like the worst possible thing that could ever happen
Stay
to
to
you.
the Monday. Yeah, no. We arranged to turn ourselves in, so we had like, you know, we gave it some space, and then for a while the court, the what am I trying to say? The court system, like, they shut down because of COVID and everything. So we, you know, we waited till everything opened back up. We turned ourselves in. Thank God, bro. I don't know. They were scaring us when we was about to go in. They was like, yo, they could set the bail as high as $1 million. That's what they said it for my brother. They set the bill to $1 million. And
$1
I'm
million?
and the crazy part about my brother was he wasn't there when the fire happened. He wasn't even at the house. So you know.
So you just dealt with a whole bunch of bullshit in this thing.
Whole bunch, bro. Whole bunch. So they set the bail. Luckily they set the bail numbers low and we got the bail out. But because we in there, bro, we in there just thinking about the fact that they might tell us $1 million. There was a guy in there that went up. He went up before us, and they told him he had a warrant out for selling crack, and they picked him up selling more crack, and and they let him out. And I was like, oh no, they gotta let me go, bro.
Yo, you're like, you gonna let the guy selling crack out, but you're not gonna let me walk? Come on,
if y'all
bro.
let me walk, I need to speak to y'all manager because like y'all gotta get me out of here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a rough situation, but going through it, you know, I had made the record Letter from Jail when we I made the record Letter from Jail, and in the process of it, my brother was still in jail. And he was me and him was just arguing back to back because it was hard for him to grasp the concept that there was nothing we could do. You know what I'm saying? And like, and as much as we knew he shouldn't have been in there and everything like that, it was just like, it was hard to kind of say, yo, this is wrong. You shouldn't be there, but we can't get you out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the way the court system, like all the courts was closed. So nobody was even looking at our case. Nobody was even giving us attention. And the people he was in there with was telling them they don't got a court date till next July. So he's sitting there it's just in his head, he on 23-hour lockdown, and it's in his head that he not coming back till next July for something that he wasn't even present for. And it's just, you know, it's eating at him. So in return, that's eating at me. And it just took a toll on me. So, you know, I just wanted to put a record out that kind of, you know, it kind of delivered a message and it kind of delivered a mood and a vibe of like, I know I'm the happy hood guy, or like I make happy hood music, or like whatever it is. Like, I know I'm just the super positive music guy, but like I'm going through a lot right now. You know what I mean? A lot behind the scenes, and I really just need that space and that, you know, like just kind of like that energy to grow and you know, mature with the situation.
Now, is your brother still locked up, or is he out?
Thank God he's
God
out.
bless. I saw you go like this. I was like, oh shit, thank God.
Yeah, thank God. We just playing Call of Duty.
Okay, yo, he's out playing Call of Duty. He good.
He's straight. He's straight now. He's straight. That was the blessing, bro. Like that's why I can smile about this situation, because it was super dark. It was like I was waking up with a heavy heart, like heart beating all the time. And now it's just the hardest part about it was just getting him out of that jail. You know what I'm saying? And because my lawyer was like, man, you know, the most difficult thing is going to be y'all bail. Hopefully y'all get a low bail. And I'm like, man, I'm not even worried about the bail. We need to get my brother out of there. And now he's finally out. You know, yeah, everything else is just like at this point he's saying that they're going to throw it out. So hopefully they do throw it out. And yeah, but it was just really just getting my brother out, because they shut the course down again. They're not opening them back up till 2021. So you know.
And you talked, you know, you mentioned about yourself and even your brother about like, you know, just him eating away at him. And I know a big part about this record and a big part about, you know, the Yellow Tape campaign is bringing awareness to mental health as well.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest thing about this, because like, you know, just thinking about, I think for my brother and for me, my brother's just been somebody who's been super insightful in his. I'm trying to find the right way to say this. He's made enough mistakes for me to learn from since we were kids. Like,
Right.
like, you pick a fight with that guy. If you lose, like, oh, don't fight him. Like, like just
Yeah,
little
don't
stuff.
fight
Like,
him.
yeah, he's made so many mistakes that I've been able to learn. And then from there, kind of like better our, just better our circumstances from there. So like, my brother, he had, he got charged with something when we were kids. And then when he first came home, like, when he went into jail, we were talking, I was telling him I was going to be a rapper one day and all this stuff. We like live in the neighborhoods. Like, what are you talking about? But when he came home, I got to bring him to one of my shows. Then I got to fly him out to Vegas with me and play a show with Wiz Khalifa. And, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
but
That's awesome.
it was real cool. It was real cool to like, kind of just watch how it matured. And I feel like if it wasn't for him, for a lot of, just a lot of these things, like, it was, if it wasn't for him, a lot of these things wouldn't have really been present, because it wouldn't have been a way for me to look at this from a different lens and say like, oh, that's bad. Like, this is what good could be. Right. And so, so now it's always been kind of a responsibility for me to, to kind of usher in what the right way is to do a lot of things, is because I think, in the Black community, it's really rough. It's really kind of like shunned to seek therapy, seek help, or want to talk about your problems and things. And I think he's went through so much emotional and mental trauma that that's just really packed up, is backed up and not really exfoliated or talked about or explained or walked through, that me being like a lot of times I have to be that person for him. I have to be that vessel for him. But then on top of it, it becomes super draining for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even this yellow tape campaign, it was just such a, I didn't, down to him being in jail and everything. It was just like, I didn't realize, like, I thought the hardest things was going to be getting him out of there, getting us out of there. But the mental health component in between, which was just, like I said, it was just wearing me down every day, to the point where, my mom called him, and then she called me, and she said, "You're gonna hate this. You're not gonna like to hear this, but y'all can't talk anymore." And I said, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna call him back. He calling me later. We're gonna talk about this and that." And she said, "No, you don't realize that I know both of y'all, and I know that the more you talk to him, he wants to hear you say something that you don't want to say, or you want, you know what I'm saying?" So it was just a back and forth, as the, like, he wants you to do something that you can't do because your lawyer is advising against it. So, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just, every time y'all talk, y'all are just going to argue, and it's going to make it worse for you because he can't understand you and you can't understand him. And she was right. She was right. When he came home, we sat down, we talked about it, and he was like, "Yo, I'm so happy she called and said that, because had she not, like, we would have just kept calling each other, arguing with each other, et cetera, et cetera." So yeah, now I'm just thinking of different ways of. I've reached out. I spoke to a couple different companies. One being this company called Backline, but just speaking about how to be helpful and from a mental health component for other Black men, other artists in the industry, other, just other people who look like me, who represent what I represent, and, or who go through things that I go through. I was just talking to my mom actually about how she always says, like, how desensitized our age group is to murder and to death and things, because we see it so common and so frequently. And yeah, it takes a toll. Like, it takes a real toll.
It
You
does,
know what I'm
especially
saying?
with like rappers lately. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Exactly.
Mo 3, King Von, Pop earlier this year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like
And
we're also desensitized, even like when I think Mo 3 was the recent one. I had met Mo 3. I had interviewed Mo 3 a long time, like earlier this year, and I was even like a little desensitized to it because, like, I had met Pop, I had met Von, and like it just becomes like something that you're just like, damn, man, another one. So,
but let me tell you why. I feel like we desensitized to it. It's because this. So I'm gonna just click on something random. I don't know what this is. Madden 21. I don't know. But say the way we find out about this information is right here. We pull it down, and then it says Pop Smoke murdered in his house, Mo 3 killed, such and such got shot in critical condition. And then what we do after that is we pull it down again. And then right soon as we pull it down, something else takes over our mental capacity, and, like, the things that we actually thinking about, that it almost becomes like an afterthought, like, oh man, that's crazy that King Von got killed. But such and such, Megan Thee Stallion's dropping her album this week. Like,
yeah.
And we just get so desensitized to it because we just see it as news, as media,
a new piece of news, and then we move on to the next piece.
Exactly. It's like, and now we, and then we find a way to make memes out of it. Now they're making memes out of out of what's her name? I think it's Asian Doll's grieving process because she was dating King Von or something like that. It's
Right.
like, you know, in reality, I kind of just step away from these conversations because I just know these things are real. Like, you know, these are real people. You know, I had a friend who had passed away, and I can't remember who it was that made a joke, but somebody had like, you know, it was a like a more so like a more, you know, popular person. And when
Mhm.
they passed away, I seen like a few jokes or a few memes around this and that, and I was like, word, let me just get up out of here.
You're like, yeah, you're like, let me get off of this shit.
Right, because some people like you know, they just don't realize that these are like real things. These are
Right.
real, you know,
Real individuals who have
exactly,
passed. Yeah.
exactly. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, to get back to the music, let's get back to some music real quick because I need to switch the tone. We need to switch the tone. We gotta get
No,
on
for
more.
sure, for sure.
We need to get to some uplifting stuff too. I want to talk to you about. So explain to me like your concept because like especially with Letter from Jail, obviously everything that you've been putting out has been like a concept of like
Mhm.
things that have happened to you, things that have been going on this year. What's like the concept for you behind Danny Mac? Because like that's obviously your next single. And then we move on to Grateful, which is going to drop sometime in January.
Yes, sir.
But what is your concept, I guess, for Danny Mac and then going into Grateful?
So Danny Mac is my brother, the one who I went through all this
Okay,
with.
cool. I wasn't sure it was your brother, bro.
Right.
Honestly, bro, I wasn't entirely sure.
No, no, no,
I
no, no,
wanted to
for
ask
sure,
you.
for sure. But you get to see how this all is tumbleweeding into
Right,
each other. So
right.
Danny Mac, when he first came home, he used to just come to this when he was in jail, he was like, I want to be a rapper. And I was like, word. So we be on the jail calls, he'd be rapping to me and everything. I used to try and record it into the mic, like all that.
Uh-huh.
And when he came home, he didn't want to rap anymore. He seen how much I was doing, like all the meticulous stuff. He was
It
like, all right,
takes it takes a lot to be
yeah.
in the industry, bro. It
He
does.
said
It
this is
does.
boring. But he still, honestly, I can say even now he lives more of a rapper life than me. Like
Okay.
I'm talking the nice cars, I'm talking the Gucci this, Versace that. It's just brands that I find out about
Right.
because he's wearing it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right.
he lives a straight rapper life. He got this big bezel chain, like all that. So, you know, I guess for me it was like Dan inspires me. You know what I mean? Like he inspires me because in a way, I feel like, you know, there's been so many, we grew up the exact same, obviously. And you know, there's a lot of things we weren't privileged to have. There's a lot of things we were privileged to have, and a lot of trouble that we didn't need to get ourselves into that we still got ourselves into. Um, at some point I matured. I grew up in a different way. You know,
Mm.
when he had went to jail, I had went to high school and in college, and you know, and I got to travel the world. I moved to LA, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of different things molded me and turned me into who I am today. However, he is still a version of me that is raw, uncut. It is not tapped by like the social, you know, the social awareness of the
Right.
world. So like he might say some stuff that like such and such might be like, yo, excuse me, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's just his character. And I was like, man, I need to be Danny Mac for a second. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta
Yeah.
feel like Danny Mac when I walk in the room because, you know, like I gotta feel like the jewelry. I gotta feel like the red
Mhm.
bottoms. I gotta feel like the Amiri jeans.
Right.
And that's what that song is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yo, I love that. So how does that lead into Grateful? Like, is Grateful like because you told me before we started this that it's going to come out sometime at the top of the new year, and I feel
Absolutely.
and I can't help happen to, but also think it's because like it has something to do with the fact that we're past this. We're past everything that's happened in 2020, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
whatever happens next year. But we're just like we're closing the door on everything that happened to us this year.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what the song is. I'm trying to. I was about to start rapping you bars, bro. But nah, yeah, it really is exactly what you just said. It's just like we went through, you know, like it's almost like Today Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. It's like
Mm,
here's all of the bad things. However, I am still grateful. I am still grateful that I have so many things that I can, you know, I can wake up every day. That alone is something to be grateful about. I have fans who checked on me when I made the announcements that I made on Instagram. There was people in real time who checked on me. My phone blew up, my this blew up, my that blew up. Like I'm grateful for these things, and it's like, you know, while I went through, you know, really tumultuous times, like really troubling
mhm.
moments in 2020, like everybody did. I'm just like everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I still have I didn't have to go through it alone. Like, you know, and one of my like when I finally, you know, when I walked out of there, my mom had called me. I mean, me and my mom went to go stop and see my grandmom. Sorry. Me and my mom had stopped to see my grandmom, and my grandma, some advice that she gave me. She was like, Monty, you're not the first person to mess up. And
Mm.
that's one of the moments that is just like, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have these people in my life that give me this advice. I'm grateful to have, but yeah, it's just really just like the song is just me detailing all of the troubling events, but at the end of it, making a point to say that I am grateful that I got to go through all of these because it built me up to be stronger. And I'm grateful to keep going.
Man, I love that. And so I'm assuming this is all, of course, also going to lead into like your next project because it's been 2021 will be like what, 2 years since you dropped your last project?
Dang. Yo, don't do that. These age me. I didn't even think, yo, bro,
Not
Corona.
because Keep in Touch dropped in 2019, right? So that
Yeah.
means so in 2021, it's well, yeah, bro. Corona, we going back here. It's okay. We're gonna redo the last year.
It's crazy that like a whole year has just passed because we just was celebrating the 1 year anniversary of Keep in Touch. It dropped early, like somewhere mid November. So
Right.
yeah,
Well,
that
it's only been a year, but you know what I'm trying to say. It'll
but
be 2 years in the next
no,
year.
you're right though. You're right. Like soon as 2021 hits, technically it's 2 years. Like it don't matter when you dropped it in 2019.
Yeah, people will say it's been 2 years since you dropped.
Yeah. So, but no, it's just crazy. That never even like
Occurred
went
to
through my
you.
head. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, but no, it definitely is rolling into the next piece of. I just want to put together something that like some component that really just it captures this moment. It captures this moment in my life. Like the Grateful, Danny Mac, Letter from Jail. There's a few other things that like
Right.
that may or may not come out before, but just something to really kind of just ball all these up and make that a moment before I move on and go on because yeah, I want to get back into the happy hood music bag. Like I want to get back into like the positive stuff because yeah, that's just me. I think for the most part, I've always found a way to kind of even when I'm really sad to kind of take that really sad moment and make something really happy out of it. That's where the happy hood music idea came from. So yeah, I mean but yeah,
I think and you know what, Philly's having a great moment right now. You know, I've got
for
it to chop it
sure.
up with two other artists specifically, Young Ka, who has been
Mhm.
killing it lately, and Drew Boy,
Yeah,
who dropped his tape earlier this year. And I think it's cool how like all of y'all are like in a similar space, but all of y'all are very different. Like Drew Boy, he has the trap bounce sound, is what he calls it. Young
Amy
K is Young K is like more melodic, like kind of very in line with a lot of New York artists, of like Lil TJ and
Mhm.
Ji, and then you're happy hood music,
Yeah, yeah. Self-proclaimed, self-proclaimed.
self-proclaimed happy hood music. So I think it's kind of cool how y'all all occupy like the same city, but y'all are all very different. You know, I think I like that.
Mhm. Absolutely, bro. I think yeah, Philly is definitely having a moment from like the small to the large. I think
Mm.
as long as Meek can stop making people mad at him, we can really usher in something positive. Because yeah, no, it ain't really been this many artists kind of bubbling, popping, or doing something,
Right, out of
like
your
that
city.
exactly since like state property. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like and so yeah, I'm really happy to contribute. I'm always happy to contribute to that message, especially like if that inspires another young artist like
Mhm.
dude doing it to come out and do something great, or somebody older than me who doing it to come out and do something great. You know.
Right, and you know, speaking of contributing, you're also partnering with a criminal justice reform, and you're
Absolutely.
gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna sell merch, and then you're gonna donate some of the money or donate all the money. I'm not sure you're about to tell me, but
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
this organization.
Yeah. So we there's a few different companies. I don't want to speak too soon because we're like kind of closing an agreement with one or two of them, but where yeah the plan is to I mean we I've really only done one merch drop, so
Mhm.
like it's still kind of like a rare thing, so to speak.
Right.
And even when we first started COVID, I just was like I was handing merch out like from my crib. I was like like yo DM me if you want a shirt, and I like go to the post office and drop it off myself. So it was like it's always been a cool thing, but I wanted to kind of take that energy and utilize it for somebody else. So it's like a lot of people when I was like I had to turn myself in, a lot of people wanted to start bail funds and all these different like GoFundMe
Yeah,
campaigns. And I was
the
like,
free
look,
Armani White shirt.
right. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like, look, if we make a free Armani White shirt, that money don't need to go to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I'm grateful, again, grateful. I can pay for my lawyer. I'm grateful that I can cover these different things, based off of just regular, my everyday life. So if we're gonna take that money, let's take that money and give it to somebody who didn't have who didn't have wasn't fortunate and have the circumstances that I had to, just to easily walk out of jail or can't afford a lawyer or can't afford,
Mhm.
whatever these things are. So now it's just like okay, like some of these people might not even care about that, but some of these people might care about a t-shirt. So if
Right.
y'all care about the t-shirt, keep caring about the t-shirt. I'm gonna care about me working on these people. So
Right.
yeah, so that's really what that is about. Is just making sure that this moment didn't go in vain, and that I'm not the only one that had to deal with this. So yeah.
Man, I love that. I love that. And I love everything you're doing. You know, I feel like most of our conversation today was about criminal justice reform, but that's also very important. You know what I'm saying?
For
And like,
sure,
I like
bro.
how that's become like a central part of like your message. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's become now after this year, like, that's always going to become like a part of the messages that you're trying to send across to the people who are listening, whether they be your fans or newcomers, and, you know, pushing for people to kind of like, you know, pay attention to what's going on in the system because you've dealt with, you know, the bullshit. And of course, your brother's like $1 million bail for arson is like insane. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think that that's really awesome that you're pushing that narrative and you're going to continue to push that narrative.
Absolutely, bro. I think we all need a message. We all need something to believe in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's what's important. I think when I talked to a lot of people before, you know, before actually coming out and before actually going through most of it, and they was a lot of them told me that you can't really speak on it until you go through it.
Mm,
And I didn't understand it because I hadn't gone through it yet. So once I
right.
went through it, it was like it made a lot more sense. It was like, dang, like that place is bad. You know what I'm
Yeah. Jail
saying?
ain't no, jail ain't fun.
Yeah, it is bad in a way that like I can't really describe it unless you know what I mean. I can't really describe it to someone other than you have to go through it. Like I had to sleep on my sneakers. Like I had to, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
we on this hard metal bench. I gotta sleep on my sneakers. Our water fountain is a toilet, and you know what I'm saying? It's just like
Yeah.
this is like people live here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so yeah, I like it gave me a new message. It gave me a new meaning. It gave me something to really like stand up and fight against because it's like dang, if I could have so easily gotten sucked into that, you know what I mean, without doing anything, I can only imagine the amount of other people who don't have a voice, who don't have like, who don't have the resources to get out and speak about the situation. So yeah, like you said, yeah, it gave me a something more to fight for as far as like criminal justice reform, just giving people that vessel, giving people an avenue to kind of like dispel a lot of the mental health things going on like inside, like they're just dispel the rumor that mental health is a bad thing, or you know what I'm
Mm.
saying. So yeah.
Yo, man, I love that, and I want to thank you again for taking the time out of your day to day to chop it up with me.
For sure, bro.
Before I let you go, let the people know what they got to be looking out for, where they can follow you at, all that beautiful stuff. Now's the time. Go ahead, plug that in.
Absolutely, bro. It's Armani Blanco on everything. I can't spell Armani Blanco. It would take too much time. But like the color, like the brand, like the color. And yeah, it's Twitter at Armani Blanco, Instagram at Armani Blanco. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else. Armani White in the music though. Armani White in the music, Armani Blanco on the socials. Yeah, Danny Mac just dropped. Grateful coming top of the year for sure.
Letter from jail too.
Oh, letter from jail. Yeah, I mean, but letter from jail is the message. Like I said,
It's
Danny Mac.
it's like the intro. It's the intro.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. So letter from jail dropped, but Danny Mac just dropped, and Grateful is dropping at the top of the year.
Yo, man, amazing. I can't wait to hear Grateful. I can't wait to hear the project. Man, good luck with everything going on with the
Thank
criminal
you, bro.
justice stuff, man. I wish you nothing but the best. Looking forward to everything you got coming up. It's Armani White on the radar, baby.